When I saw this, well, I told myself this can't work. There's so much junk going around on the internet. But well, I tried it anyway. And what if it works? A while ago, I showed you a glue that's made with styrofoam, the classic expanded polystyrene used in packaging, and a polyurethane solvent. Well, that video got a lot of views, but it also got a lot of criticism because the solvent is more expensive than just buying the varnish already made. Still, there's a product called toluene, which, if you can get it, is cheaper and works very well. Then I made another video where I prepared a glue, using it to melt telgopor or icopor or unicell, whatever you want to call it, using naphtha or thinner. But the cheap kind? But instead of turning into a liquid, it formed a mass with a snot-like consistency, which is useful for gluing sneakers or filling holes. But it's a bit hard to apply because it's not something that spreads over the material. You have to keep pressing, and well, here you can see the mass, the one I'm talking about, right? Well, the thing is that I was watching a channel from Mexico, and the man was teaching how to make a waterproofing product for roofs with this product. And what did he do? Well, he mixed this mass with white glue, the carpenter's white glue or the well-known plastic glue. He stirred it, started mixing it, and it became completely fluid and very easy to apply with a brush. I started thinking, because in chemistry there's a general rule that says dissolves, compounds, depending on the molecules they have, are either polar or nonpolar. For example, oil is a nonpolar liquid and water is a polar liquid, so they can't mix, they stay separated in phases. But for example, oil and gasoline mix very well. They're both liquids, both nonpolar. Well, in this case, this lump here of polystyrene mixed with gasoline or cheap thinner, they mixed it with white glue. White glue is a polar liquid because it mixes with water. If you want to dilute it, you can dilute it with water, and the lump of polystyrene is not a completely nonpolar liquid. So what happened? By stirring, you get this. You get, look here, I prepared it. You get a very fluid liquid that's easy to apply. White glue is very affordable. You can get it in 5-liter jugs if you want to prepare large amounts of this. This waterproof paint or waterproofing cream costs around 28,000 Argentine pesos, which is about $20. And you can make yourself an excellent waterproofing product for roofs, bricks, and wood of very, very good quality, right? With very little money. Let's see what the proportions are. We need, the styrofoam enough so that it doesn't dissolve anymore in the gasoline, right? I put in 2 parts gasoline and added the polystyrene I had. And, I had some gasoline left over, so I took out 1 part of gasoline. In short, you have to put in 1 part gasoline, enough styrofoam, and 1 part white glue. Of this kind, the plastic glue or carpenter's glue. First, you form the polystyrene mass using the gasoline and the styrofoam, and then, once the mass is formed, just like you see here, you add the white glue and start to mix. You'll see that at first it's harder. It doesn't mix well, but after a little while it becomes completely homogeneous and fluid. You should preferably do this in a well-ventilated place, outdoors. It's better if you shake it, and both parts will combine, the polar part and the nonpolar part. At this point, you can already bottle it as it is with a creamy consistency and use it as a crack sealer or as a strong glue for many uses. And if you want to use it with paint, you can add water, about 2 parts of water. You add this little by little and stir the mixture. You'll see that it blends very well. And then it can be used as exterior paint. Don't paint indoors because, well, you're going to have a gasoline smell inside, right? So this is for exterior paint, for wood that's outdoors. Well, but what happens with gasoline mixed with water? Is this possible? Well, here's your go-to chemist to explain it to you. I know you're going to share this with the Spanish speakers and then give me a hard time. Well, what I think happens, and well, I've checked with a friend, Jorge Donadelli, who is also a biochemist from La Plata. It's the same as when we make mayonnaise. Both compounds are emulsified, forming a thick solution, exactly with the consistency of a cream. These emulsions are quite common in cosmetics. Vinyl glue, in fact, is already an emulsion and has an emulsifier, which is polyvinyl acetate, which I think is responsible for this phenomenon we've seen. The fact is that this cream is an excellent glue and crack sealer. And when it dries, the water evaporates and it becomes like a very strong plastic. In the end, the emulsion remains as a polar liquid because of this emulsifier that white glue has. It can be mixed with some water and turned into a paint that, when it dries, leaves a very smooth and waterproof finish. It's especially good for coating roofs and walls. Well, now you have one more piece of information. Seriously, it's an excellent tip. I'll leave the channel from Mexico, where I got the idea, in the description so you can check it out. Now go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel by clicking the bell so you get notifications when I upload new content. You can also join, and in that case, I'll add you to a WhatsApp group where the members are. Thank you so much for watching the video and see you next time, God willing. Subscribe.